Conversations with Jae Tea Lo. You never know which way to ride. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo. You never know which way to ride. It's gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo. You never know which way to ride. It's gonna Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo. You never know which way to ride. It's gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo. You never know which way to ride. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo.
Hey, yo, what's happening, people? Y'all know what time it is. Actually, it's a little after that time, but we have some technical difficulties. Either way, it's time for Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo.
And that's the cop.
We're about to get this thing going, man. We want you to be a part of the conversation, 404-500-1605. Now, listen, I have to do this now because you know that we do this after, we have a tape replay, that comes on later. If you're not looking at this on Tuesday night, don't call the number, all right? Don't call the number if you're looking at it on any other night other than Tuesday, okay? We are on YouTube. Tonight we're back on Facebook also, trying to get our people. Are we? We on Facebook too, right? We're not? Oh, my bad. Sorry, Facebook. Yeah, we're on YouTube. Nash, you was right. So yeah, we're on YouTube. So again, do not call that number, all right? But you still can hit the buttons over there, man. I just realized this last week. You'll see a love button. If you touch the love button, there's going to be a whole bunch of other buttons going to pop up. You're going to hit those buttons. I need you to keep hitting those buttons because when you hit those buttons, you help our
algorithm
go up. Hey, man, this YouTube thing is popping for us. I need for you to tell a friend to tag a friend. Is that's it, right? Tag a friend to tell a friend or tell a friend to tag a friend? Tell a friend.
Tag a friend.
Tag a friend, tell a friend. Do both of them. Yeah. There you go.
He liked it so much.
Yeah, man, it was nice. So, man, let's get this thing going. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you, bro?
Hey, no complaints at all. Ask the cop, everything good with you?
Excellent week. Got a lot done.
All right, listen, man, we know it's Ladies Month and everything, Women's Month, I'm sorry. We're gonna try and get back to it. There's a post that's been out, and my wife posted it, and I want to get to it because it makes a lot of sense. But, man, we got to talk about Puff, E, Love, Did, D, do it. What's up? What do y'all think, man, is going on with Diddy? Y'all, of course, everything is rumor, speculation right now, but, when there's a lot of smoke, so there's usually some fire somewhere. What you think?
I look at it a little bit differently. I look at it like, is Puffy a saint? No. But I also look at it like if they had anything on Puffy would be in cuffs. I think it's grandstanding by whatever judge signed off on the warrant, DA, they put it to a judge. It's like basically it was a paperwork search warrants. All that wasn't necessary. You don't get that for axe murders. The amount of police force they used on that one.
I'm talking about they came in groves.
That shit looked like you thought they were going after El Chapo.
Hey, for real. I'm talking about they all tactical, all the assault. I was like, man, you're right.
On paper search warrants. Come on, man. It's like, and I'm not saying by no means next week we might find out he's been indicted on 50 counts or something. But right now, they basically went at a sledgehammer at an ant. It's like, because if they truly wanted him and they had something on him, he would have been flight, whatever planes, even if it's a private plane, they would have had a stop on that. That plane wouldn't have been allowed to take off. So there's so much more that they would have do. They would have frozen his accounts, and a judge would have said he's a flight risk. They said he was a flight risk, taking his passport. There's so much stuff they would have done. So I think that it's like a shot across the bow. That's about it.
So, when I saw the stuff, especially all the search warrant and all that, and all the media coverage is getting, man, it made me think about, I like to flip it a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. So I started thinking and asking a few people, man, hey, man, you know who Dan Snyder is? What about Brian Peck? No?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they didn't have nearly this kind of coverage when these guys molested those kids from Nickelodeon.
Exactly. And they got, that's done deal. They're already settling out of court.
Hey, man, that Nickelodeon thing.
Hey, listen. But you ain't see, were they storming,
Right.
did they storm Dan Snyder's house?
No, not at all.
I mean, it's
not
like, come on, man. I mean, what are we really talking about?
We actually had to find the link and send that out to people for them to know about it.
Right.
Because I wouldn't have known about it if you hadn't sent it to me. That's crazy.
So, that's what, when I saw that stuff, man, that's the first thing I thought was like, wow, man. They doing this for this, man. You know what I mean? But you got...
I'm 100%. Let him be innocent until he's guilty, if he's guilty. But the way they it's like everybody wants it. They just dragging it and running with it. And then you got to look at a case where they had people that were dealing with underage girls and sex trafficking. And we've yet to see the names in that book of clients. Same thing with Bernstein. All the stuff he did, it was like a blip. They didn't drag him out. They let him turn himself in. So it's big difference.
Yeah. We knew what he meant, Ben. Weinstein.
That's the coming out of the dictionary of Ask-A-Cop, the Ask-A-Cop dictionary.
Yeah, man, that was my whole issue with it, man. It's like, come on, man. And if hey, listen, if he did it, by no means am I making light of, but I don't even know what the charge is supposed to be. You know what I mean? All the stuff he had was...
There's no charge yet.
Right.
They're just basically looking for paperwork that somebody told them.
I've never seen that magnitude.
Because the child trafficking thing really threw me. I hadn't heard anything about child trafficking.
I don't think anybody's even said that. That's just some internet stuff that they're throwing up there and hope it sticks. But the reality of it is nobody knows what the charges, if any charges. It could have been something stemming from taking somebody against their will cross lines, which would be a federal case, but nobody's talking about anything, but everybody's throwing speculation out there,
Well, stay tuned. I have a feeling we will be talking about this in the near future, but of course, with Classic Konversations, this is only our opinion and our opinion only. Now, we are not condemning anyone, and we are also not saying that anybody is, what did you say, a saint? We're not saying that either. We're just talking. We're having a conversation. That's classic. Special guest in the building.
Good evening.
Oh, boy, this is going to be good tonight. Tyshawn Jackson, how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing.
Great. Go ahead and because I don't want to take away from who you are and what you're doing. So you go ahead and let people know who you are and what you're doing.
Well, shout out to the viewers of Classic Konversation. Thank you all for allowing me to bombard your conversation this evening. To speak a little bit about myself, my name is Tyshawn Jackson. I am a candidate for state court judge in Dekalb County. I have qualified, and I will officially be on the ballot on May 21st, 2024. Early voting starts April 29th and concludes on May 17th. So please go out and vote for the qualified candidate that's rooted in the community, Tyshawn Jackson. I currently serve as one of the senior assistant district attorneys in Dekalb County District Attorney's Office, and I head the Firearm Violence Prevention Unit. I've been doing that since 2018, and prior to that, I served as an assistant solicitor general prosecuting our misdemeanor crimes. And I'm happy to be here this evening to discuss anything and everything about Tyshawn Jackson and what makes her the most qualified candidate.
See, that's why I told you to do that, because I couldn't have done all that. So, we're happy to have you here. You were on the panel of another event that we hosted, and we just thought you didn't get to get it out like we wanted you to get it out. So that's why we figured we would have you here, so that way you can get it out. We're gonna give you the night.
Well, I'm here because I am officially family, because that's what I told y'all at the last show, that when I come back, I'm a part of the family now.
That's
So
right.
being that I've made my infamous return, I'm family to Classic Conversations.
There it
There you
is.
go. There you go.
But I will tell you all, I've learned throughout this journey that, you know, your circumstances never defines you. You make your own definition of what you want your life to be. You see, I had a very, very horrific tragedy in my early life. Well, not early life, like I ain't die and came back, but in my adolescent years, I came home from school.
Hold on to that,
Okay,
because I want you to go into that as soon as we start that next segment.
absolutely.
So
Okay.
that we can keep it going. We don't have to break that up.
No,
But I want you to hold on to that because
I'm just here.
That's you see, I'm just
I'm just here. Tell me when you want me.
Oh boy!
I know that did not come out right, but y'all know what I meant.
As she said,
Let me sip my ginger
she
ale.
said that she was coming in to be family.
You better do it.
What we got there, boss? All right, I'm gonna go over this real quick, and I want to ask y'all your opinion on this before we go to break. It was a post that was made in regards to a woman and sacrifices and stuff like that she make. I mean, of course, we're talking about black women, but of course, this could mean all women. So, a woman changes her name, a woman changes her home, a woman leaves her family, a woman moves in with you, you being a man, a woman builds a home with you, a woman gets pregnant, the pregnancy changes her body, a woman, she gains weight for the pregnancy, a woman almost gives up in the labor room due to the unbearable pain of the childbirth that she is having because of you. Even the kids she delivered bear your name. Till the day she dies, everything she does, cooking, cleaning your house, taking care of your parents, bringing up your children, earning, advising you, ensuring you can be relaxed, maintaining all family relations, everything that benefits you, sometimes at the cost of her own health, hobbies, and beauty. So who is really doing whom a favor? Now, I love it all. Now, some of it, you know, it could be a little far, but the comments that I saw on this thing, there were so many men that was coming in trying to show what they're giving up instead of congratulating. And it reminded me of some of the same stuff we always talk about up here. When somebody does something, instead of, say, the Super Bowl, Usher Super Bowl thing, all that was done that was great. The only thing that we talked about was Alicia Keys and Usher hugging. Out of all of this right here, when you're talking about something that a woman does, men came up here and tried to make it seem as if they do more. Opinions, what do y'all think about it? Do you think that's...
I thought Phoenix gave the perfect answer. It's a balance.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. I thought that's the perfect answer.
The fifth? No. I'll plead the fifth on that one. Let's move on. Self-incrimination.
Oh, all right. We'll be right back. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo.
And that's the top.
I think they should feel some type of obligation, you know, especially, you know, you got these guys coming back talking about where they're from. What better way to show the kids and the people coming up, you know, what their potential can be. You know what I mean? I came from this neighborhood.
You
I did these things, and you can do it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't see no better way of doing it. And to make people more, you know, to respect give more respect and pride to that. But don't just shout it out on a record or that. But you never, hey, but they ain't seen you in 30 years.
But you know that was the issue a lot of black folks had from Chicago had with Obama. You know, you president now. Why you can't? Which the president just can't stop at the. It's a president,
right?
But you're not president no more. You got all the time.
The applause.
Oh, what's happening, people? We are back. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo.
That's a cop.
Listen, as I said before, man, y'all can be a part of this conversation. 404-500-1605. Those buttons over there, it's gonna look like one. If you touch it, you'll see the rest of them come up. Hit those buttons, because when you hit those buttons, they help our
algorithm
go up. And people, we trying to bust this YouTube thing wide open. You dig? So I need for you to go ahead and do what you need to do with that. So we're going to get going, like I said. This week we're going to talk about domestic violence. Got a couple of different points we're going to hit on, but to start off with, we're going to let our guests give her the story that like I said, I don't think people recognize, you know, looking at you sitting here, no way do they know this story and how you had to persevere to come through it. So,
Yes, I'm definitely not, my current look does not reflect what I've been through. I've had a really, really troubled childhood, but it's something that I had to deal with to get through, and I did, and I persevered through it. I lost my mother on December 16th, 1992. It was a December day in Cleveland, Ohio. I came home from school, and all I wanted to do was play my Super Nintendo. And yes, I do laugh when I tell this story because it keeps me going. You know, I laugh to keep from crying. So you will hear me chuckle when I say some of this story, but it's how I'm able to actually get it out. But all I wanted to do was play my Super Nintendo, and I had 45 minutes before my little brother came home, who was 4 at the time. I was 9. When I came home, I discovered the house in a disarray. And I really didn't pay too much attention to it because, again, I'm 9 years old and focused on, you know, want to play my game. I saw my mother laying in her bed, and I saw the pillows, and the actual living room was a mess. But I still cut that TV on, and I started playing the Super Nintendo. And then after a while, you know, I got up to see why my mother hadn't moved. And I went in there into her bedroom and was like, hey, Mom, I was, you know, you ain't got to sit right here. I was just playing when I came in the door telling you give me 45 minutes to play the game. And she started kind of gagging a little bit. And I then picked her up off the bed to figure out what was wrong with her. And that's when I noticed that she was bleeding from her head. And so at that time, I called 911. And then after I called 911, I called my aunt first, and then I called the individual who ultimately took my mother's life, and then I called 911. Long story short, my mother died of a gunshot wound to her head, and it was her child's father that took her life, her domestic partner that that kind of abused her as often as he could because she wanted to get out the relationship. And he didn't understand the word no. And the way he treated the word no, or the feeling of not being wanted by my mom, was to lash out and hurt her. He did a lot of things, you guys, that I can't even understand why. I recall before he took my mother's life, my mother used to walk my little brother to school because he only went to school down the street. He jumped out of the woods and stabbed her in her hand with a screw that infected her hand. He climbed over to the second floor of our house and dove through the window to try to attack her. And then the last time was the final blow when he ultimately took her life and shot her in the head. And as a 9-year-old child, you know, that's devastating when you come home and have to see this scene, and then after that you get bombarded by law enforcement officers, detectives, and attorneys and things of that nature. So that was my introduction to the criminal justice system, was actually being a witness in my mother's case. And of that tragedy became my triumph, because that incident single-handedly set the trajectory of my life to make me want to get into law. There was a prosecutor on my mother's case that didn't know my mother from a can of paint, didn't look like my mother, didn't grow up in our neighborhood that we grew up in, but yet I watched him fight relentlessly for my mother. And I looked at him and was like, wow, you don't even know my mom, you don't know me, you don't know my family, but yet you are fighting like there's no tomorrow for these individuals. And that's when it clicked for me. And I said, I want to do the same thing he doing. I want to give families that sense of hope, that sense of relief, by assuring them that someone will be willing to fight and go to the bat for your family, even when you don't know them. And so that incident took place in Cleveland, Ohio. After the case concluded, luckily the individual did not go to trial. He took a plea. He accepted responsibility, and for that I am thankful, because I didn't have to testify as a kid. But after that case was over, I was uprooted, and I moved here to Dekalb County, Atlanta, Georgia. By this time now, I'm 11, and I live with my dad. So I grew up the rest of my childhood in Dekalb County, raised by a single father. Luckily, the teachers in my school, the women in my church, and my friends' moms, they were my mother figures, and they were the ones that saw me through, made sure I had the motherly love that I was clearly lacking and wasn't going to get from home. And it kept me going, and it kept me focused. It got me through some very difficult, trying times, because my mother was my best friend. She was the one who motivated me. She was my ride or die. My mama, she was I wanted to say another word, but I had to catch myself. She was mad cool. She was really, really cool. And so it was definitely a hard pill for me to swallow. And it took many, many years to get over that, in a sense of what you can get over. But I always remembered that prosecutor. So after I graduated college, I pledged Delta Sigma Theta, by the way. So shout out to my sorors at Georgia State University. And I went to law school, and I'm proud to say for the last 11 years, I have proudly served as a prosecutor in the office of the Dekalb County District Attorney's Office, prosecuting our violent crime cases that involve firearms. I head our firearm violence prevention unit, and I do a lot of great work in the courtroom and in the communities for preventative, to prevent firearm violence. So I would tell you that story was very horrific, but through trials and tribulations come triumph. And I am proud to say that I unfortunately had to go through something that was really, really tough, but I'm glad I did, because now it's my testimony. And I can use my platform to help other in the epidemic that we know as domestic violence. The reason why I'm running for state court judge is because they have domestic violence. They preside over domestic violence cases on the misdemeanor level. And I am determined to not let another 9-year-old witness my tragedy. So I want to create a domestic violence accountability court where we take a holistic approach to domestic violence. We get the victims help, and we hold offenders accountable, but also get the offenders help. What I've learned through my legal experience and my life experience is a lot of times those individuals who lash out on their spouses are also suffering from housing insecurity, food insecurities, work insecurities, financial insecurities, and they have their own traumas. So if there's a way I can use my platform as a judge, which I know I can and I know I will, I want to help those offenders get to the root of those issues so that we can end the epidemic of domestic violence. It's one thing to get the victims help, which is the no-brainer. We're going to get the victims help, but I don't want that offender to now just go to another victim. Let's try our best to get to the root of the issue so no other 9-year-old child would have to grow up without a parent.
Wow, it's so much there. Like I said, when people think of someone a child that's been through that type of trauma, a lot of people don't feel that those children can regroup enough to take the steps and reach what you've reached. You don't, let me check. We probably see it, but I don't think a lot of people are sharing this story the way that you are. You know, there's probably a lot of people in the same type of seat that you're in that went through something similar or some type of trauma, but don't share it, you know, as they're on their steps of getting to where they get to. And I know you said that you wanted to start, you know, looking at helping out not only the victims, but also the offenders. Do you think that do you think because of the way America is now or the way the culture is now to where everybody is minding their own business, do you think many of us kind of see signs but don't help, you know, like see a warning sign that somebody might be going through something and we won't say anything because we're minding our own business?
I think so. I think a lot of times too, all culture realizes, you know, I'm gonna see it, but I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to get involved because there's a couple of things can happen, right? As a prosecutor, I would tell you I've seen a case very, very recently where there was a domestic violence taking place at a gas station. A total stranger went to try to help the victim in that case, and he was killed. Mm-hmm. There was another incident where I witnessed another domestic violence incident happening, and then when someone went to help, the victim and the abuser turned on them. So now you kind of go into your own survival mode. Like, if I help, would something happen to me? So I think all culture kind of realized, well, you know, I need to stay out the way. And also, when you try to help, and then say it could be a family member, right? You see one of your family members being abused by their domestic partner, so you go out on them and help, and then the following week they're back together. Right. So now you're feeling that your actions didn't help solve the issue, and you're going to continue to put yourself out there for another person who may not at that moment want to receive the help. And so I think people tend to not get involved for some of those reasons.
Okay. I have a follow-up question on just more with, I don't know if you remember, but you spoke of other instances, things that happened prior to your mother's death. You know, in Georgia, we have the Domestic Crisis Intervention Act, which I know you're familiar with. Of course. But was there anything in place in Cleveland during that time period were officers coming to the house and just saying, okay, you go stay at your friend's house and, you know, don't do this anymore, or was he repeatedly arrested prior to your mother's death?
Unfortunately, I just don't remember. I do just remember some of the horrific the very horrific scenes, but I don't remember what happened after that, whether or not the police came, what did they say and do. I do recall that they came out before, but I don't know whether anything was kind of set up to help victims of domestic violence. So unfortunately, I'm not sure what they were doing back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did him or his family ever reach out to you or apologize to you or speak to you?
So, no. But I say no because I never spoke to anyone. But whether or not they reached out to my family, my mother's side of the family, to try to contact me, that I don't know if that happened. I would say that I have a little brother, and that's his father. Me and my brother are polar opposites. He didn't take it as well as I did. And now he kind of is in and out of prison. So it's literally the same family, two opposite sides of the spectrum. And I do know that when my brother went to prison, and he's currently in prison, him and his father have begun to write each other. And I would tell you that they have developed a relationship. But the individual who took my mother's life, he does have mental issues that I know exist. And my brother has some mental issues as well. And so when I talk to my little brother, I get the sense that he just wants a parent, right? And so this kind of created a kind of an interplay within myself of what should happen, because when he's eligible for parole, which he has been several times, because back in 1992, he was sentenced to life in prison, but life in prison was 15 years when you're eligible for parole. So he has been eligible for parole a couple of times. And the third time I talked to my brother, I realized, they're kind of getting a good relationship, but again, they both have mental issues, so they kind of flip on each other ever so often. But for the most part, I felt my brother just wants a parent. So as a child who has their mindset, I recognize this. And so the last time he was eligible for parole, I actually felt I did something commendable. And I know that's me kind of to my own horn, but it really was. Mm-hmm. Because I asked the parole board, I said, listen, at this time I am going to I'm going to request that he be denied for parole. But what I want you all to do is to begin providing him resources and programs that could potentially acclimate him back into society. Mm-hmm. Because if he is able to help my brother by being a parent that my brother needs, I'm sure it's not a financial parent, but that's the love of a father, then I am willing to state my opinion that he should be released from custody so that he can have that relationship. And of course, a lot of my family did not agree with that. But as a prosecutor, and I look at tons of cases every day that deals with a lot of violence. I prosecute homicide cases. I prosecute all kinds of cases. I felt like it was more important in that moment and more important for my brother to have a father figure than for him to sit in prison for the rest of his life, because he can possibly save my brother's life. So I actually felt that he should have another opportunity to be released back into society, even though my mother would never have that chance.
So your brother was raised by?
My brother was raised by my aunts, but I like to tell people that he was raised by a pack of wolves because he really didn't have the guidance.
Gotcha.
And on top of his mental illnesses, my brother didn't have a chance. He really, really didn't. I feel like even when I turned 18, I asked if I can let my brother come down here and live with me. At the time, he was 14. And it was a hard struggle, but it was okay. I was willing to sacrifice for my brother. But at that time, by the time you're 14, them ways are set. They're set. And he also is a very good manipulator. And so he... Y'all, this is probably not a part of the topic, but he called my auntie and them one day. I had a little cousin who got hit by a bus when he was young, and he came home in a full body cast, right? My little brother, remember, he's very smart. He remembers stuff like that. So he called my aunt because we made him, he got in trouble because he skipped school. And see, he used to have that liberty in Cleveland, but you ain't had a liberty here. You're going to do your school work, you're going to do your work, you're going to go to school. If you don't go to school, we're going to find out about it, and we're going to do something about it. And so he was getting his work done, actually getting most improvement awards and everything. So he called my auntie and told my aunt that some people ran into school. He got hit with an axe, and he's currently in a full body cast. And he was even making sounds on the phone like, hold on. Oh, I had to move, auntie, I had to move. She really thought somebody had them beat my brother with an axe. And I had no idea. So my phone gets to ring, and they was like, is Marcus okay? We getting ready to come down there. I was like, come down there for what? And she was like, well, he said he got hit with an axe. And I just was like, will he be alive if he got hit with an axe? But long story short, he went to Cleveland for that summer after school let out. And he just really told her that we were mistreating him. And she didn't let him come back. And then when he started getting into a world of trouble, she wanted me to save him, but it was too late. Mm-hmm. So right now he actually is in prison serving 9 to 12 years for armed robbery of a Pizza Hut and a Family Dollar with an ankle monitor on his ankle.
Wow.
Again, those are serious mental issues.
Wait,
You heard
wait,
it.
wait a minute. He had the ankle monitor on and he robbed.
He robbed a Family Dollar
And a Pizza Hut.
and a Pizza Hut for about $264, and had the audacity.
It is
mind
Family
you,
Dollar.
I'm a prosecutor, right? So I know the law. I'm like, really? And he was like, I had an ankle monitor on. It said I was a mile away. I said, oh, okay. Mile away means you're in the radius of the ankle monitor of the store. So I would tell you all that my brother is 38 years old. And from the time he was 17 to 38, I'm going to tell you all that he has been free a total of maybe 2.5 years.
Wow.
I totally. Oh man,
Yeah.
Wow.
So we are polar opposites.
Yeah.
That's what can happen when you're children of domestic violence.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. What your story is showing is that the reaches, it's like you said, it's a victim and it's an offender, but the reaches of it can go so far.
Yes.
People never realize how those branches can keep going on and on and on. We're gonna go to break.
Yeah.
I know we got a lot of questions up there because I know you're looking at it. I can't see my comments. But going to commercial. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo.
And that's a cup.
We'll be right back.
Sorry about that.
I think they should feel some type of obligation, especially, you got these guys coming back talking about where they're from. What better way to show the kids and the people coming up, what their potential can be. You know what I mean? I came from this neighborhood. I did these things and you can do it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't see no better way of doing it. And to make people more, to give more respect and pride to neighborhood. Don't just shout it out on a record or but you never but they ain't seen you in 30 years.
But that was the issue a lot of black folks from Chicago had with Obama. You president now, why you can't, which the president just can't stop it's a president.
Right.
But you not president no more. You got all the time.
And we back, y'all. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo.
That's a cup.
Let me do that over. Just not hearing the music is messing me. The clapping is messing me up. All right. Hey, man, we are back. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo.
And that's a cup.
Listen, people, I keep telling you, and I'm not seeing it. I'm looking at this thing, and I'm not seeing it. I told you it's a little heart to the side. If you touch the heart, a whole bunch of things just going to pop up. They're going to pop up. just start hitting your finger on it, man. If you hit those, it's gonna help our.
Yeah.
If you hit those, it's gonna help our.
I apologize. He had me a question that threw me off.
I told you, man. Y'all didn't believe that we were live. When I tell you we are live,
Blame it on MJ.
yeah, we are live, and nope. If you're looking at it on any day other than Tuesday, we ain't cutting this. It's gonna say what just happened is gonna happen again. That's what's gonna happen. It's a classic conversation. Is what we do. Wow. I want to ask you this because we talked about this a little bit once we had the event in regards to men being victims. In your line, have you seen the number go up?
I wouldn't say I've seen the number go up because I just haven't checked the statistics, but I will tell you that it is present, very much present, where all too often men are also victims of domestic violence and that their incidents need to be taken just as serious as anyone else's. There have been cases where men have ultimately, their lives have been taken. They have been abused physically, mentally, and emotionally as well. And we must all recognize that their rights should be protected just as any other victim at all times. All times.
What's the most difficult part of your job that you see as the most difficult part of it?
Well, as a prosecutor,
Yes.
You know, prosecutors, it's some hard work. And luckily, I have an amazing boss that recognizes our jobs are difficult. Listen, I wouldn't believe half the stuff I see had I not been in the room. I would tell you that this stuff is made for TV. That's how some of the stuff really, how horrific some of the things we have to see and prosecute. The hard part, ironically, is not the like the dead photos, the photos of individuals that are deceased, or even a body cam showing them deceased. It's kind of when, children are my, the children get to me. So when the children see things, when you see body cams and the children is in there and they're crying because their loved one's life have been taken, that kind of hurts a little. That kind of stings. Because of my trauma, I just never want no. I feel like I'm strong enough to take it, and I know they are as well. But when you understand the severity of how it affected you, you just don't want no one else to experience that. So that's kind of the hardest part when I have to see other children endure traumas. It kind of keeps me up a little bit at night because I just don't want. I know how their life can turn out. It can turn out like mine, or it can turn out like my brother's. So that's kind of the hard part.
Wow.
The other part is when we have cold cases.
Okay.
When you have individuals whose lives have been taken. For example, I just tried a cold case. It was actually heavily publicized. It was the State versus Teresa Black. Teresa Black was accused of leaving her 6-year-old son dead in the woods back in 1999. February 26, 1999, we found his body. And at the time we found his body, he was badly decomposed, and we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl. We didn't know anything about him because it was nothing but bones. And as a mother, I just can't fathom how you could leave your child in the woods to rot, to be subjected to being eaten by animals, and you be okay with that. And that case went unsolved from 1999 till we got it hit in 2020 and was able to finally identify who that John Doe was, and it was baby William Hamilton.
Wow.
And so those things kind of affect me, to also know that there are some cases where we just can't solve, and it affects our little children. But the best thing about it is when you try these cases, and especially when I got the opportunity to try several of my homicide cases, the joy that the family gives you when you're able to provide them justice. That what keeps you going, because you see a lot of gruesome stuff on this journey as a prosecutor. Some days we actually have to take some days off. Like, I just need a moment to regroup because I just dealt with some very, very bad stuff. But when those families come and hug you, this one family almost knocked me down. Like, it was so excited. Came out my heel in one shoe, hugged me, and just even started kissing me on my cheek. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. You're a little too close. But that's what keeps you going, because you feel vindicated to know that although you can't bring their loved ones back, you gave them some sense of closure and allowed them to move on with their lives. Okay. So it's a gift and a curse, but I love the gifts and they far outweigh the curses of the job.
Okay, and what do you think being a prosecutor for 11 years is going to bring to the bench if you do become a DeKalb County judge?
When I become a DeKalb County judge, because the people will elect me on May 21st, 2024. The great thing about me is my wealth of experience as a prosecutor. You see, prosecutors, we get a lot of courtroom experience. And so I have a lot of courtroom experience, more than anybody that's on my ballot. And I think that is crucial and that is necessary for a judge who will have to make those decisions right on the fly. When you're in court, issues come up and you have to make rulings on those. And the only way to really be proficient in being able to do so is to have had the experience to be in the courtrooms when you had to be on the other side arguing and presenting persuasive arguments before the court, understanding the law in order to make those persuasive arguments and being able to do that on the fly. That would help me to be able to make those same decisions that's grounded in legal principles and make sure that all the litigants are being treated fairly, because I've been a prosecutor and I've been able to make those arguments. The one great thing about it as well is I've already had to write motions, present orders to the court, so my writing skills have definitely been honed to be able to do that part of the job as well. But I think one of the best attributes that I have is I'm from DeKalb County. I moved there after my mother's passed when I was 11 years old. It's my community. I'm from there, and I understand the people. And when you're able to understand the people, you can understand the issues and really make decisions that's rooted in legal principles and for the benefit of the citizens of DeKalb County.
Jury, do you have a verdict? Yes, Your Honor, we do. She's a winner. Period. That's that Law and Order degree.
That's that Law and Order.
That Law and Order degree that I got.
Degree.
Yeah.
Be a YouTube University.
So how
Actually,
are you going
NBC.
to be? So from the bench, how are you going to be as far as the sentencing guidelines? And are you going to be more on the hangman judge or lenient? Because DeKalb County gun violence is ridiculous.
So the one thing that state court judges deal with when it comes to the criminal matters are misdemeanor cases. Mm-hmm. We don't deal with the felonies, so we don't deal with a lot of mandatory guidelines that you're thinking of. So, for example, armed robbery has a mandatory sentence of 10 years. All of the criminal cases I would deal with carries a maximum penalty of 12 months. Now, depending on what is drawn up in the accusation. Property crimes, domestic violence, shoplifting, your disorderly conducts, things of that nature, as far as the criminal side. And so I will have an opportunity to do a lot of I don't have to do extensive jail time, right, for these crimes. They don't warrant that amount of jail. But I want to do something a little different. I want to kind of get an understanding of these small crimes and while they're doing it. I am anxious to read these comments because and no, my brother did not get a personal pan pizza, by the way. But I will have an opportunity to let's get to the root of issues. I was recently endorsed by the North Georgia Labor Council, and they have over 2,000 individuals that in various job roles, so that's a part of the unions. A lot of these people who are committing these crimes, like I said, may be facing insecurities with their work, finding jobs. So let's see if I could, instead of worry about, now some people will go to jail. Let's not get it twisted. But if there's a way I could kind of introduce individuals to opportunities, I want to do so.
So, do you see, from your point of view, from the DA's side of the house, a racial disparity in cases being charged in DeKalb County?
When you say racial disparity, what I can say is that when I walk into a courtroom and we're at an arraignment or a pretrial hearing, and the individuals that we refer to as defendants that may have been charged with some crimes, I can honestly tell you that majority of those individuals are African American or other. That's just a fact of the case. When I walk into a courtroom, majority of the individuals that are sitting in orange jumpsuits are African American or another minority.
Gotcha.
And keeping on that same lane right there, in regards to, say, some African American or an other doing some of the same crimes that Caucasian, since we're going African American, a Caucasian would do. Do you see the charges being sentenced differently, or?
Well, I can tell you this. The one thing about the office that I work for, and I'm just speaking as a candidate, not as a prosecutor, just from my observations. We truly operate in the interest of justice. So we try our best to really sentence in accordance with the crime, and all the other factors that we must consider when we make recommendations before the court. Now, ultimately, the judge is the one who sentences individuals, but prosecutors get to make recommendations, defense attorneys get to make recommendations, and the judge gets to sentence. I try my best to be, because even when you think of a prosecutor, our goal and our job is not to just send people to prison. That is not, that's the perception, but that is not the case. We are taught, and our duties require that we operate in the interest of justice, and it depends on what justice looks like. If an individual did a very small minor crime, right? Let's just say in an auto. It's his first time or her first time ever doing such a crime, and items were taken from the vehicle. No one was hurt. No one was actually in the vehicle when the items were taken. You know, those are things that we look at when we make those decisions, and that's not a case where generally you will have a sentence that requires you to be in confinement. But on the flip side, say you have hijacking in the first degree where you held someone at gunpoint, take their vehicle, and the child is still in the car. Now you have a kidnapping charge on top of that, and the criminal history may be 30 pages long. And when they were caught, they went on a high-speed chase and crashed into a stranger. You know, we're going to take, you know, that heightened level of danger and the way the victim was traumatized as a result of the event as well. Then we take that into account, and that may be something where we look to see, based off the crime alleged, the evidence that we have, then we would try our best to sentence accordingly. But the one good thing about being in a major city or in a major county where you have a good deal of prosecutors, the office is diverse, right? So you have individuals like me who's from the community. You have individuals that don't look like me, but they're truly fair. You know, we have the opportunity to speak with each other and discuss, you know, I want to make sure I get this right. And that's the one great thing when you have an office with that atmosphere, that it feels, as a prosecutor, you feel good to know that people are being treated not because of the basis of their skin color, but truly because you get to operate in justice. So in my office, I can't speak for others, but I do like the fact that we try to get it right. And if we don't, again, the judges ultimately make those decisions. And I will tell you that the Dekalb County State Court bench is very diverse as well.
Robert mentioned earlier, in the black community, a lot of time they're scared to say anything in terms of reporting domestic violence, or not be able to show abuse, or scared of the police not believing them. How does that play a role? Do you all kind of speak to the victims? Like, how do y'all get involved with, especially as a repeat offenders and such as that?
Oh, our office is victim centered. We definitely speak to our victims. We actually have what's called a victim advocate. So we're going to immediately make contact with all of our victims, keep them abreast of what's going on, let them know when court dates are coming up, get their statements on how they feel the case should go. Anytime I prosecute a case where a victim is involved, I have a meeting with them. I want to get, their idea of how they think justice should be. We do have a lot of domestic violence cases, and it's just me speaking from experience from the time I was in the solicitor's office, when I was assigned to the special victims unit dealing with our more aggressive domestic violence cases. We will sit down and talk to the victim, but you see, there's this thing called the power and control wheel and the cycle of violence. A lot of times in domestic violence cases, the victim will recant. They could be in the honeymoon stage, according to the cycle of violence, and at that point they may become hostile towards us because they don't want their loved one, who they're not in a good space with, to be prosecuted. So we get, in some instances, there are times where we get backlash from our victims. But again, when you operate in the interest of justice, I can understand your concerns. I can understand your feelings and your thoughts, but I'm still going to move how I should move and hold individuals accountable, even when you think I shouldn't. So there are a lot of times where victims don't want us to continue to go forward, but we do take their thoughts into consideration, as we should, right? Because they're the ones who have been victimized. Right. But sometimes we may not go in the direction to which they want, because that is injustice. Yeah.
Gotcha.
What's also dope is that your dress code is going to change, because you're going to be able to put a whole dress over everything you got. You can wear a sweatsuit. They wouldn't even know, huh?
They won't, but I stay fly. So, I'm still going to be rocking my business clothes because I want to set an example. But yeah, I will have on a nice robe. I'll probably have me a couple of them. One that got Delta Sigma Theta on it. One that got Georgia State on it, represent my alma mater. Yeah, it's funny now. Robes is like a new thing that you kind of style out. You can get your the arms that had different colors on it. You can get the one with the good little, I don't even know what you call this thing, but the good little tie up. And yeah, they making them, the robes are like the new fashionistas these days.
That? Okay. So is this a full-time?
It will be a full-time position. It will be a position elected by the people, and I have to be elected every 4 years upon winning the campaign.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations in advance.
Will you still practice law? You're doing law every day, but will you still have a...
So what happens is, ironically, the election is May 21st. When I win, I actually won't take office until January. Okay. Once you take office and become a full-time judge, I cannot practice any other kinds of law. I can only be a judge.
Gotcha.
In that for that particular judicial seat.
Gotcha.
I had cousins, so don't call her when you mess around and got caught shoplifting. She can't do that no more.
Don't call me. Don't call me.
I got one more question.
Not even for a traffic ticket.
Hey.
I can't help you.
I got one more quick question. Is this a stepping stone? What do you see yourself in the future?
That's when we come back.
Yeah, we come back. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo.
That's a cop.
We'll be right back.
I think they should feel some type of obligation, especially, you got these guys coming back talking about where they're from. What better way to show the kids and the people coming up, what their potential can be. You know what I mean? I came from this neighborhood. I did these things, and you can do it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't see no better way of doing it. And to make people more, to give more respect and pride to neighborhood. Don't just shout it out on a record or but you never come. But they ain't seen you in 30 years.
But that was the issue a lot of black folks from Chicago had with Obama. You president now. Why you can't? Which the president just can't stop at it's a president.
Right.
But you're not president no more. You got all the time.
Thank you. Yeah, we back, man. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo.
And that's a cop.
We just gonna roll on into a top 5, homie. What you got?
Well, let me go cover these comments real quick. We already went over to Pan Pizza. Let's see. Barbara Walters. Say, give this woman a position now while we're waiting to vote. Go ahead and give it to her now. Ms. Jackson out here doing the Lord's work.
Amen.
Gonna be strolling. I heard that already. Proud of you. Live there, have my vote. Yeah, man, we're gonna be pushing your campaign nonstop on Classic Konversations. So in May 21st, right?
May 21st. Early
Yeah, it
voting
is.
start April 29th.
All right.
If you don't live in DeKalb, tell somebody you know that live in DeKalb because you got some family in DeKalb, and every vote counts.
Tag a friend, tell a friend.
There it is.
All right. So, Ms. Jackson, we do a top 5. So we're gonna make this one real easy for everybody tonight. Give me your top 5 legal/police shows and/or movies. Legal or /police.
All right. I'm liking Will Trent now.
Yes.
I like Will Trent.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
I
That's
like him and his the pet of course the dog, right. Of course, Bad Boys 1, 2, and 3. Period. I love Will Smith and Martin Lawrence in that series.
And they got a new one coming out too.
Yep.
Oh, it's real. They're really gonna do a
Just saw the
list.
trailer today.
Yep.
You know, I saw the trailer on this TV, and I was, I think that's old. And I turned my head, and so I was like, damn.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for that. What was the cop show with Ice Cube and the Benjamins. All About the Benjamins. I liked All About the Benjamins as well. Yeah, I think that's 5, right? Bad boy, bad boy, bad boy. Listen, I gotta take a hockey get.
Dwayne, what you got?
Okay, I'll start off with Truth Be Told. That's my new thing. They just got canceled though, but it was good. On Apple TV, Octavia Spence. I know this isn't, but Fast and Furious, man, they do everything. Okay, the dang
not a
Fast and
legal
Furious, huh?
You got 10.
Well, she said bad boy, so I wanted to.
They cops.
They cops.
You talking about the criminals?
No.
prosecutor,
Listen,
Dwayne.
they working with The Rock. The Rock is the law now, so they are working. That's what I'm saying. Fast and Furious does
All right,
everything,
go
and I
ahead.
just seen the video. just seen the movie. That's what I'm saying. Dom Toretto and The Rock are now friends, in their they're solving crimes, man. That's why they was in space. It was crazy. It was crazy. All right. Number 3, we'll go with. Cause I don't Suits. My favorite show.
Yeah, I love Suits. I love Suits.
I watched it live time. Number 4, Law and Order SUV. Yeah. And
I got one more, too.
And I'm gonna really kill y'all. My last one is Old Chap Lip Malik Yoba in New York Undercover. Dick Wolf classic.
Yeah.
That's
There you
good
go.
one.
That's a good one.
I got one more.
Took that one from
What you got?
Matlock. I did like Matlock. That was a good one. I do like Matlock.
That's a real good one. She did that one. All right. She did that one. All right, let's see. I got Reasonable Doubt.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I got Law and Order. Dwayne stole mine. I got Miami Vice / In the Heat of the Night. Yup. Low Down Dirty Shame. Ooh.
That's a good one.
And Scandal. Period.
Ah,
Oh, yeah, I got some good ones.
She said Scandal.
Scandal.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
that's a good one.
Olivia
good
Pope.
one. Olivia Pope.
But I'm talking about In the Heat of the Night.
That was mine. That's one of mine.
That was me and my
That's one of
grandmama
mine,
show. I'm a grandmama's baby. Chips. Demolition Man. Hey, that was my movie for a minute. In the Heat of the Night. Training Day. Oh, yeah. And every Saturday night, right before America's Most Wanted, Cops.
Just period. Cops. Let's make it easy. Cops. Cops.
I got NCIS New York, CHIPS, NCIS New Orleans, New York Undercover, Murder, She Wrote.
Okay. That's a good one.
Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
Good.
Angela
one.
Lansbury.
Good.
Angela
one.
Lansbury. Yeah. Yep. With a typewriter. If that show came on, it would confuse so many kids today. They'd be like, what is she touching?
Oh, and I forgot Denzel.
Why is she slamming her
Training
fingers
Day.
on that thing?
I forgot Denzel. Training Day.
That's trying to do. Okay.
That's a cop.
Okay. Hill Street Blues. Hill Street Blues. The Wire. Heat. I like Heat a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good one.
You know it. Training Day, classic. And I would say Adam 12.
Adam 12. Okay.
Yeah. It had A12 on top of the car.
In the country, they only got 2 channels. Yeah. Yeah, they play the hell out of the movies.
All right. I'm gonna start. Yeah, that's on my list. I got you. Don't worry about it. We'll start off, and this is a slash. This is going to be Starsky and Hutch slash Beretta.
Beretta. All right.
Yeah. Three. Three channels. Then little TV up under the cover, looking at TV when I should have been asleep. Next would be Boston Legal.
I didn't think nobody would pick that. That was
What? Man, when they used to sit out on
That
that
was
deck
my
at the
show,
end of the show and
man.
drink that scotch, what? That was
I said nobody gonna get this one.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Captain.
That's hard coming up with something
boy.
nobody had
Captain
already
Kirk,
said.
boy. I love that show.
Man. Okay.
Somebody already grabbed Suits. But Oz would be next. Yeah, Oz would be next.
Monster.
New Jack City. And then the whole Law and Order franchise, all of them. Law and Order, SVU. What's the new one they got out now? They had Criminal Intent, and now they got Organized Crime. All of them. All of them. Get to see a judge every now and then.
All right. Number one fan got Beretta, New York Undercover, Police Story, Hill Street Blues, and all the Law and Orders.
Police Story.
Orlena has Monk.
She just said.
Look at that. That's on my list. Law and Order, Columbo, Ride Along, Chicago PD, and Blue Bloods.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's Magnum PI.
Keep your eyes on the Sparrow things on Beretta. Oh yeah, that was decent on there. Honorable mention Kojak and Miami Vice.
Jack.
Lena said, yeah, Kojak. All right, my mom, well, here you go. My mom got Perry Mason, Training Day, NCIS, that's another one of mine, Kojak, and Law and Order. Number 1 through in LA Law. Go ahead, what's your honorable mention?
LA Law.
Family Matters.
Oh, he was a cop. The
There's
dad was
a cop.
I mean,
He got promoted without doing work.
Carl was never at work.
He was never at work. He was always at the crib.
always at home,
Even the captain came to the house.
right? The captain came to his house.
Hilarious.
Saw the crowd.
All right, I got one that nobody. Number 1 threw in Dragnet. Good, another good one.
Good Lord.
And she went way back with that one.
Yeah, way back.
All right, I got one that nobody said. Night Court.
Night Court, yeah.
Night Court. Yeah. I got another one of them TV classes I love. How to Get Away with Murder. Annalise Keaton. I gotta say my man Monk. I also had Boston Legal. And here's my last one that I would have never watched this show. I watched it on a whim, and I was hooked. Lucifer.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey. He's a detective. See, he worked with a detective the whole time. They solved cases. The whole series of solving cases.
Yeah.
But when I tell you that show, I didn't watch it because everybody didn't watch it. I didn't watch no show about the devil. But if you watch this show, you hooked.
Boy. Hey,
You're hooked.
Buddy,
Hey, I binged.
Hey, Buddy was wilding too.
Hey, what? Hey.
He was wilding. He was wilding. Buddy was wilding as the devil. He was having a ball being the devil.
Yeah, he was.
He was was having a good time being the devil.
But they introduced a whole lot of biblical stuff. Hey, listen, but if you ever, I'm just saying, I thought the same thing, but when I watched it, man, I never stopped. I watched the entire series. That thing was so good.
Somebody put Trapped in the Closet.
Trapped in the Closet, yeah, that's millennial. Hawaii 5-0, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Adam 12, that's a good one.
The original. The next one was kind of. They were booking them Dano and everything, but it wasn't. It
wasn't as good.
Yeah, it wasn't as good. Yeah, it's canceled now. It's already ran its, I think, 10 episodes, 10 seasons.
NCIS LA, that's my boy, the GOAT's on that one. Lincoln Lawyer.
Yeah, I heard that's pretty good too. All right, Miss Jackson. Don't say it.
My Uncle Paul on Channel 2.
Don't say it.
Suits, Adrian, good one. Suits is a good one.
Go ahead and let everyone know where they can follow you at. Make sure that you give your website and everything. Like I said, we're gonna champion behind you for these next couple of weeks. Make sure we mention you every week. Go ahead and let everybody know.
Yeah, so I have my own website. Luckily, it's my name, easy to remember, TyshawnJackson.com. That's TYSHAWN, Jackson, common spelling.com. Also, you can catch me on Instagram, Tyshawn for Judge, and on on Facebook, Tyshawn Jackson, State Court Judge. So just listen, there's not a lot of Tyshawns out there that's a girl. Tyshawn Jackson, I'm easy to find, and my pages are public, so I'm not hard to find. Just go ahead and find me, follow me, and I'll follow you back. I'm not afraid to follow people back, so follow me, and I got you.
That's what's up.
Good deal. Ask the call. What you got, bro?
Nah, somebody said Miami Vice.
I'm going to hit on gun violence again. It's up in Dekalb County, so we got the right person here to deal with it. But Atlanta, they're shooting at officers that are bailing out of cars. You know, when our perps bail out of cars, they're shooting at the officers. There's very little prosecution, a lot of dead docketed cases in Fulton County. So, you know, just tighten up. If you know somebody, call it in. You get paid on a lot of the stuff now. So call it in. That's all I got.
All right, two things real quick. Number one, y'all know it's voting time. You know what I say every week. Think globally, vote locally. Here's a perfect example sitting right here at the table with us, all right? You think globally, you vote locally. These local elections are so important. Putting people like Ms. Jackson in office on this seat is so important to our communities, so we need to make sure we're doing our part. Stop thinking your vote don't count because you worried about the presidential stuff. Let's worry about the ones in your county, in your city, the things that really affect you, all right? And who's sitting on those benches truly affect you. So think globally, vote locally. Lastly, condolences to everybody in Baltimore affected by that bridge collapsing. Condolences to all the families. All the thing we do is just hope and pray for peace for those recovery victims. That's all I got, TZ.
Yeah, that was I was looking at that again. That was crazy. For me, listen, we talked about domestic violence. We talked about the trauma that this young lady went through as a child. One thing that I can't say, because I am a member of this fraternity, children that witness domestic violence, we put it away because we don't want to believe what's going on in front of our eyes. If you're in this fraternity, please seek counseling, because I guarantee you, it is down deep. You're probably living greatly, everything is good, but there is something down deep inside of you because of the trauma that you witness. Anytime you see a parent get hit, and then you're talking about seeing a parent get hit by your other parent, it's going to affect you, but we as children, man, we're resilient. We tucked it away and we kept going. So if you are part of this fraternity, I'm telling you, think about it. Think about getting some counseling. Doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt to just go and get yourself checked out in regards to that. Just go have a conversation with somebody. Other than that, I just told Angelo, man, I got to get out of here. BMF 6:30 in the morning. I'm back on again. Wife got mad at me because I was in the strip club last season. I think this time they got me in a restaurant. So, baby, I'm listening. All right?
Yeah.
That's going to do it for us, man. Hey, again, tell them your tag. Tell them.
Tag. Don't throw me on the spot like that. Tell a friend, tag a friend.
There it is. Make
Tell
sure
a
that
friend,
you do that, man.
tag a
We're trying to
friend.
do this thing. We got to keep it going.
YouTube, man. YouTube. Subscribe.
That's going to do it for us. We'll see you next week, y'all. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo.
And that's a cop.
And we out. You dig?
Conversations with Jae Tea Lo. You never know which way to rhetoric. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is going. Classic Conversations with Jae Tea Lo.